Today we're taking a closer look at the HD front tie rod kit for the 2010 to 2024 4Runners. This kit is going to be a great option for 4Runner owners looking to strengthen their front end steering components, improve handling precision, and gain some peace of mind when heading off-road or towing under tough conditions. The standout feature of this tie rod kit is its heavy-duty construction, which far exceeds the strength of those factory components. These tie rods are designed with extreme durability in mind. These tie rods are built from forged steel housings, while the ball studs are made from chromoly steel that's been heat treated for maximum strength. This kind of strength in the build is ideal for resisting flexing, fatigue, and failure under high load situations. This is perfect for lifted vehicles, oversized tires, or regular trail use. A key benefit of this kit is the fully assembled design. Each side, driver and passenger, comes complete and ready to bolt on, saving time during the install process and reducing chances of error. And if you stick with us, we'll show you that install here in a minute. This kit also has high quality grease in those ball joints, allowing for less maintenance and longer service life. These tie rods feature rolled threads rather than cut threads, which provide greater strength and reduce the chance of stripping during adjustments. The ball and socket construction uses metal-to-metal contact rather than cheaper polymer inserts, meaning the joints will hold up to long-term stress and articulation without loosening or wearing prematurely. Also, these heavy-duty boots on the ball joint are going to protect each joint from dirt, moisture, and debris getting in there, and the accordion-style bellows maintain flexibility while keeping contaminants out. The full assembly is E-coated for corrosion resistance, so whether you're slashing through mud or enduring winter road salt, this kit is built to last. These Apex chassis on the tie rod assemblies are forged from solid steel and CNC machined for precise fit and alignment. All components are treated with a durable black E-coat finish to combat any rust and corrosion down the road. The chromoly ball studs and heavy-duty hardware are engineered for high-load applications, making this a trusted upgrade for lifted and off-road 4Runners. Reinforced boots and factory-style fittings make the setup both rugged and easy to service. Now, as far as pricing goes on these, they're coming in right around that $600 price range. But when you consider the premium materials, the pre-assembled design, and the off-road rated durability, this is a strong value for any serious 4Runner build. The install on these is relatively straightforward, so it's getting rated just a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and it should take you about 2 hours to complete the install. Now let's head on out to the shop, and they're going to give you a detailed walkthrough of exactly how that install process goes.
Tools required for this install include an impact gun, hammer, clip remover tool, 8, 22, and 27 millimeter wrenches, a large adjustable wrench, needle nose pliers, scissors or diagonal cutters, a clamp crimping tool, flathead screwdriver, an extension, 10, 12, 19, and 22 millimeter sockets. What's up guys? Today we're installing tie rods on our 4Runner, so let's get started. So now the first thing I'm going to do is break free our jam nut between our inner and outer tie rod. Now we're going to do this because we're going to be spinning the outer tie rod off and counting the turns so that we can do that exact same thing on our new one to get our alignment just good enough to get to an alignment shop. So take a 22 millimeter wrench, break that nut free, and then we can move on to disconnecting our ball joint. So now you're going to grab a pair of needle nose pliers to bend back a cotter pin. Pop that out, and take your 19 millimeter socket to remove your castle nut. And then I'm just going to strike the side of the knuckle here a few times to just break our ball joint free. Now we're going to spin off our outer tie rod and just count the amount of turns, and then just write that down so you can match it up to your new one. So 16 right there, so that's how many we're going to go back on with our new one. Next, I'm going to lower down this front skid plate to just give us some room to work on our inner tie rod. So we've got two 10 millimeter bolts on the outside. We're missing this one. And then we've got a clip in the middle. So take a clip remover tool to pop that one out first. Then grab a 10 millimeter socket for the bolts. And then switch to a 12 millimeter socket, and we'll get these 2 bolts up front and the 2 bolts in these holes in the back, and then we can just swing this down and just hang it out of the way. Next, we're gonna have to remove the clamp on the inner side of our tie rod boot. Now you're gonna have to take a flathead screwdriver, get it in there and twist. You're gonna have to break this clamp, and then we're gonna have to get a new one. And then we can just wiggle back on our boot to pop that off. Now next, grab your needle nose pliers and pull this clamp back. And then we're gonna have to slide this boot over our inner tie rod. You might need a little bit of lube here. So now we can loosen up our inner tie rod from the rack here. Now if you have an inner tie rod tool, that's gonna be the best here, but you can get to it with a very large adjustable wrench. So just get it on there and twist to break that free. And then you can just twist this all the way off. So now we're ready to install our new inner tie rod. We're just gonna thread this threaded section into our rack here. Now grab your big adjustable wrench and tighten that down. And then you slide your boot back into place. A little cutout for it right there. Now we're gonna have to crimp down on this clamp. So you're gonna need a pair of these clamp crimping pliers. Get it around to either side there. Crimp down on it so it's nice and tight. Now on the inner part of the boot, we have a zip tie included in the kit. So I'm just gonna very loosely connect it right here and then slide it over. Make sure your boot is over the rack. Slip your zip tie into place. And then you can crank down on that zip tie. And then grab a pair of scissors or diagonal cutters and cut off the excess of that zip tie. Now we're gonna take our outer tie rod and go in with our 16 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 15, 16. And then we'll bring our jam nut down. And we'll fully lock that into place once we have our outer tie rod installed into the knuckle. Now we're gonna install our outer tie rod into the knuckle here. And then thread on your castle nut. Now you're gonna take a 22 millimeter socket and tighten that castle nut down. Now we can slide our cotter pin through the stud here and bend up the tabs. So now we're gonna take a 27 millimeter wrench and snug up my jam nut. And then you can take your grease fitting and thread that into the top of the ball joint here. Snug that up with an 8 millimeter wrench. You don't need to go crazy tight on this. And then we'll grab our grease gun and grease this up. Now grab a grease gun, press it onto that fitting, and just pump it with some grease until that boot starts to expand. And now I can see that expanding, so I'll pop that off. And I'm just gonna grab a microfiber and clean off the grease on that fitting. And now we're gonna raise our skid plate back up into place and thread in those 4 bolts in the bottom. Tighten those down with a 12 millimeter socket. And then at this front cover, you're gonna thread in your 10 millimeter bolts. It's one on each side. Once again, ours is missing over here. And then insert your push clip. Take a 10mm socket to tighten down your bolts. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the HD tie rod kit for your 19 to 24 4Runner. Thank you for watching, and for all things 4Runner, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.